All right, guys, what is going on? We are back with another Astroyappp. If you got something, drink something. It's your boy Wizzy. And God, the times they are a changin'. I have tried to do this a couple times, and it's just not turned out the way I wanted it to. I either lost energy or I simply just didn't feel it was good enough to release. So hopefully this time it's right. But if you're hearing it, it obviously is. So what is going on? Why am I back? What is exactly happening in the world that makes me come back after radio silence for 6, 8, however many months? We are in a pivotal time. Yes, I said that last year, but this is the execution of the seeds that were sown. If you're into the Chinese zodiac, last year was the year of the snake, and if you know a snake, it sheds its skin, all that, blah, 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 realizes who it is, and then the year of the horse, we go. It's a huge difference. And that could honestly be a great summation and a parallel to what the astrology was of last year going into this year. We had signs going back, planets going back and forth from Pisces to Aries, from the empath to the warrior. Quite a different story, if we're really speaking, quite honestly. So identity, all of these things, we did a lot of work and spent a lot of time in our heads forging a path and then reconsidering the path, ultimately to arrive us to where we're going to end up in the middle of February, moving forward back in that path of the warrior. This is what society is doing. This is what our consciousness is doing at this time. That is just what's going on. I mean, there has never been more war talk for most of us in our entire lives that has felt so close to home. And I'm obviously speaking of people born in the 90s forward, because others would argue differently. Unless you are listening from another part of the world, I'm speaking as an assumption that most of my listeners are from the US. But anywho, what happened? Where are we? Why are we here? Why am I here? What happened was Jupiter conjoined the full moon in Cancer. That's a big deal. That's something I know very well because it's in my natal chart, in a different sign, but same water sign nonetheless. And this is a moment of full culmination and real sign of the expansion. It's also kind of our halfway mark of the Jupiter in Cancer transit, which is, truth be told, the last good Jupiter transit for a long time. Now, what does Jupiter handle? What is the deal with Jupiter? Why do we care about Jupiter? It's the planet of growth, expansion, abundance, all of that, all the good and all the bad that comes with that. So when it conjoins the full moon, that is the perfect time to get something going, getting started. Now, I know it was a few days ago, and this is coming a little later than anticipated, but you're still getting it. So I'm still trying to say this. It's still important to me, but it had to be fresh and it had to be right. So basically with that is, it's a great example of what's going on this month. What do we have going on this month? We have, well, first of all, this week is great. This week is a very good week for culminations and beginnings and moving with things, because what you're going to learn and realize as I yap at you more frequently or infrequently is that this is the time to get it done. So I will probably yap more during this month and a half than I will the rest of the year, but it's all in good heart. What you do now sets you up for, and I shit you not, the next 2 years. Why is that? Because we have all these planets built up in a Capricorn. Capricorn is tradition. It is a great initiator. It's a cardinal sign. That's what it does best, initiating. And as we move through the year, it's going to get more hard to start things. And if you have your systems and everything figured out this month, you'll be better off, because there is a lot of upheaval that is in the making. I mean, we saw Venezuela. I don't truly think on here on here, meaning here in the US, and for most listeners who are coming from most likely the US, if you're in Europe, hey, I'm sorry. Or anywhere like the Middle East, I'm sorry. But long term, I do not think that Venezuela will be a major issue for the United States. I don't think that's the fish that's going to fry, or at least this level of it. It's calm compared to what is anticipated when it comes to the Saturn-Neptune conjunction that is coming up, which has always meant big things for Russia. So I'm just going to leave that at that. I'm not going to boil this egg before it's, hatched, or so to speak, or whatever analogy I just made up. I'm not going to discuss it right now. It's not worth the time when the focus is this is the time to initiate. So what do you want to do with your life? What have you always wanted to do? These yaps are meant to be like not necessarily about astrology meets politics. It's about what are you guys going to do? Because here's the thing. I've spent a lot of time in the self-help community and also digging into astrology, and one of my favorite people is taking a step back. And so now it's like, well, what do I have to say? And that's why I'm yapping, why it's an Astroyappp, because it's partially for me, it's partially for you. I need to say these things out loud to something into the void, but also it's beneficial if you want it. So right now, Capricorn being the great initiator, it is going to CAZIMI Mars and it's going to CAZIMI Venus. So Capricorn is in both of those. Those planets are both in Capricorn right now. And CAZIMI means get in the eye of the sun. So they are going to conjoin the sun. And later this month, Mercury will conjoin the sun in Capricorn. It's very, very rare for something like this to happen. It is the epitome. Like, if all of these are doing the same thing, that is like, could not be more literal of getting your ducks in a row. This is the time. What has it meant for me in this time? I am an actor and a performer. What has that meant for me? I see it as, Capricorn is work-based. It's career-based. It is a lot of jobs that are in offices. So what have I been doing? I've been getting my office set up. What does that mean? Virtual storefront, virtual website, office, having the tools I need to set myself up to move through things. The most challenging part, I think, that people run into is all the mind stuff in being successful and growing. It's something I deal with every day. The mind stuff. What are the things? How am I the mind stuff stops you. It's like, oh, but I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. Right now, everything's in Capricorn. We can think clear. So clear, as opposed to where it's going to be in Pisces. Oh my God, the Mercury retrograde in Pisces in February, March, good luck. 1,000 things talking at once. It's going to be very hard. But if we get rid of all choices in decision fatigue, if we can get rid of any source of decision fatigue, oh my God, we're going to be unstoppable. That is why this is so important. All of these things are going to pile up and get really crazy soon. If you have no decision fatigue, you have answers for everything, there's nothing to get in your way except yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you don't organize yourself now and you don't go do something, say you don't go do an audition, or you don't put in that job application, or you don't start your business, you had this time. And it's going to be really hard when there's 1,000 things talking all at once. And that is going to come along. The last time we had a Mercury retrograde in Pisces was during the pandemic in 2020, when Fauci and Donald Trump were saying two different things about the COVID vaccine or how to deal with COVID. So and it's conjoining the North Node, which turned things up to 11. So it's going to be worse than then. How is your focus then? And I'm going to say with that, I rest my case. So how are you preparing? How are we getting there? That is what this whole conversation, this yap is about. This is why I'm doing the Astroyappp, because I think there are a lot of people who could use the information of what's going on and how best to attack it. The Instagram is one thing to post the daily, or however regular, irregular, I'm going to do that. But the whole point of astrology and everything is to use it to map your life. There are times when it is best to start a business, start your acting career, start I don't know, to get the new job. This is that time. Later? No. Is it possible? Yes. Is it going to be easy? No. Wouldn't you want to go with the stream when it is least going against you? That is what this time is about, and that is why I'm yapping. So, when things are so obvious, when things are clear, when things are just no fluff, all in, all clear, why wouldn't you do that? That's the majority of why I'm here. But as we go further, things are going to get more messy. And until about eclipse season, I mean, actually, what it goes is to, like I mentioned, what we're approaching and why it stops being good is February 11th. We're going to have Mercury go into shadow, which, if you don't understand a Mercury retrograde, there are actually multiple cycles of a Mercury retrograde. There is Mercury goes shadow, which is it's entering the place it's going to go back to in the retrograde when it retrogrades back through a sign. Then it goes retrograde. Then it goes direct, and then it leaves shadow. So you've got like 4 aspects to consider. That Mercury retrograde is going to last long, and it's going to suck. Like, you're gonna want to shut everyone out. That is honestly maybe the best way to deal with it, if it were me. But if you're trying to communicate with people, if you're trying to get yourself connected to anyone in any way, it's going to be an insane time to figure it out. Because also, the Mercury retrograde is going to be conjoined by Venus, also in Pisces. And that's just like, it's literally like it's just overstimulating. It's like having the time of your life, but like you can't understand anybody. That's the great way. And like, to steal somebody else's analogy, it's like being at a party on drugs and you're trying to have a serious conversation about something, but like they can't understand you because they're so out of it. But anywho, suffice to say, it is time. It is time to go. And that is why I am back. Not only to hold myself accountable, but to also hold you accountable. If you are making it through this, if you are listening and you really have decided that, like, I'm tired of the way my life is, which if you lived last year, I'm pretty sure you felt that to some degree. Now is the time to initiate that change. Not later, now. You've got, now we're January 5th. It's January 5th. We've got until the 11th of February before stuff starts to go awry. And needless to say, it's not like you do it now and then you pause. No, you start the momentum, and that you build the habits, you build the plan so that when the storm comes, nothing's going to uproot it. But if you don't have the habits, if you don't have the groundwork, it's not going to stay. That's why now is the time to initiate. Now is the time to go execute all of these things, because you deserve it. But the only person holding you back from doing it is you. That means getting your office set up. That means having an answer for every question that could come along. That means knowing exactly where you need to be, how to get there, all of those things. What are the tools you need to execute? If you want to start a social media, okay, so what is your content plan going to be? How are you going to create that? Are you going to use Canva, or are you going to use ChatGPT, or any of those things that might help you with that? Are you going to do research? Are you going to take Skillshare classes on how to edit videos or edit photos and do all those things? Do you need Photoshop? Do you need Lightroom? Did you see? These are the questions you need to be asking yourself if you want to build this new life and you want to use this astrology to get there. And that is why I'm talking about it. This is the time. Usually people say no time about the present. We really mean it this time. There is no time like the present. And today, it really is. And why I say 2 years is because the astrology gets really crazy until about May. It chills out for the summer, peaks up again, and then it's a whole different thing in the fall. And then we're continuing it into 2027, because really 2027 is a build off of 2026. It's like really feels like one giant long year of craziness. But this is a really good year to get things done, to start things, because also Mars is in a good place basically the entire year until the Mars retrograde in the fall. Well, not fall. I believe it's December. Yeah, December. But I've yapped. I've gone. I've said what I have to say. These yaps, for your sake, are not an hour. They've only been like 20 minutes, 15 minutes each. But that's really the whole shtick and what I'm trying to say. And if you've made it along to this point of the video, just hit me with a star emoji in the comments, because that would be great, so that I know people are out there listening to this. I'm still gonna do it regardless on a either weekly or bi-weekly or whatever schedule I say I'm gonna do and then not do. The point is, I'm gonna say the stuff when it matters, and this is when it really mattered. So yeah, let me know if you made it all the way through, and please build the life you want to, because now is the time. Now is the only time, basically, to execute this stuff, because you will see the fruits of your labors come summer. But you have to start and keep going and build the system and set up your office right. All right? If you want more to know about this whole shebang, I'm going to be dropping my website soon with my readings and my schedule available to help you out with this. So stay tuned. Thanks for listening.